One of the things that when we think about what are some of the technology or challenges and benefits with your team in developing new data and analytical projects? I mean, as you guys are doing some of that, but also how are you guys leveraging cloud services or automation or advanced analytics? It sounds like you guys are using some of that to build the next solution.
Well, I see my team as both my colleagues within Solidatus as a technology company, but also our customers, the community that we work with. And, that includes financial services company, because this is where our founders came from, but also telco, pharma, government and public sector, and more. So data lineage enables cloud services, and the cataloging capabilities that Solidatus can give to an organization absolutely helps them to be able to safely move data onto cloud. It also enables automation. So where you have traceability and you have auto ingest and your lineage is dynamic, you are able to, with confidence, build machine learning and AI models around your data. So, I love to see how all of our customers are innovating using our capabilities to deliver some amazing outcomes and amazing solutions. And a number of our customers are using us around things like moving the data to cloud, but also automating the data sharing approvals process. So that is absolutely key to be able to move data onto cloud as well. You have to know what data you are allowed to share with whom, and in what jurisdiction and for what purpose. So again, back to my old role, we implemented Solidatus to allow us to know where we had data sharing approvals already, or where they may be needed. And we turned the data sharing approval process around from being months in some jurisdictions to minutes. And we digitized the request process into interrogate the Solidatus knowledge graph to tell us if we already had the approval in place for that data type, for that system, for that purpose, and for that jurisdiction. So, quite amazing the things that you can do with the capability that gives you data lineage.
It reminds me of that natural progression around that in large organizations it take you 8 weeks to get a server. Now that's down to seconds, minutes, or so. And that you just said they give potentially a very long time to get approval on just sharing data. Now that's down to minutes and so forth. But through this automation and classification, that we're able to do this, to be able to offer data services easily and efficiently out to the organizations and end users.
That's what we do. Absolutely, what we do. We turn complex problems into simple solutions. And your analogy is excellent about how you would buy hardware in and how long it would take. Now it literally takes an online request and a credit card. So that's what we're trying to do, trying to turn those really difficult problems into simple solutions. And data sharing is just one of those.
Yeah, it sort of went into the next question around the internal time to deliver, the technical capabilities, and as you talked about, it's speeding up the time to market to get data into the right people's hands. How has the business been impacted as far as using data as part of the digital transformation differently than they did yesterday?
Thankfully, being a financial technology company and a truly data-driven organization, we use our own software. We've managed to work well in terms of supporting our own internal processes, but also supporting our customers, plus engaging with new customers and continuing to develop our core product and those customer-driven solutions. We also have a very strong collaborative capability within Solidatus. So you can, federate some of the work that needs to be done as you develop your model and as you develop that blueprint. So regardless of what jurisdiction you're in or what part of the organization you're in, it's very simple to give and manage access to crowdsource content. And this is one of the key features, I think, of our capability, is that it doesn't have to be managed by a central single CDO team. You can engage with your colleagues in IT, in transformation, in the business to validate the data in a particular system or in a particular policy or in a particular regulation. And you can ingest it, you can auto map it, and then you can get them to validate. They're the SME, so get them to validate it. So you really have got and we operate a Git-like capability as well for crowdsourcing some of this content with our SMEs across the businesses. So yeah, that's really how we believe we have changed time to market. You know, we're not a waterfall company. You know, we really support an agile environment, and we truly believe that data is the responsibility of everybody in the organization. So it's not a single project team trying to, you know, learn what the SMEs know already. It's engaging with those SMEs and making it simple enough for them to engage with us that they can contribute to the model or the blueprint for data that we're trying to build.
Yeah, I love the crowdsourcing aspect where you can involve the larger community, whether it's the business community and or else potentially other parties. You think about one of the most successful open source sites at the beginning was Wikipedia, and then Microsoft had their thesaurus program. I forget what it was. And there's this interesting thing is, who would ever thought that a very free source, open source, would take over the world as far as Wikipedia. You could do that where you could be going a lot faster momentum wise, to be able to get this data validated, shared, understood, and disseminated out there.
I absolutely agree with that as well. And, who would have thought a few years ago that we could literally code a regulation and ingest it? And who would have thought that we could engage with our colleagues in the likes of legal and regulatory compliance to engage with a tool like Solidatus, because we make it easy for them. We give it to them, we give them a request in the format they're used to. So it looks like a Word document, but actually when they're updating a policy or they're approving a policy or a regulatory compliance edict, it's then filtering down through to the systems and the data and the people. All of those changes are therefore automated. So once you've put in place that data blueprint in the organization, you can also then model the impact of future change. So whether it's a new regulation or a new policy or a new system, you can see the ripple effect across the organization, which is phenomenal. I certainly know in a previous life, when GDPR, the privacy regulation, first came on the scene, it probably took us a good 18 months to understand where all the PII data was and what we would need to do to comply with the regulation. That was 18 months of discovery. But if you had put in place that blueprint, if you had lineage mapped out across your organization, you could, add that new regulation in and see immediately across your organization where you had impact and how long it would take you to move into compliance. So yes, unfortunately, we didn't have the capability at that time. But for future regulations, it's good to know that that's there.